can't believe I got to this point in my life that after Spy Kids 4, a movie that even as a child I saw and hated when it came out, well, maybe hated is a strong word. I didn't like when it came out. I'm now 19 years old and watching Spy Kids 5. Well, actually, it's been a while since I've seen the fourth one, so maybe this one's better. Honestly, probably not. Look, I won't sugarcoat it. I thought this movie was really bad. This movie just had me bored the whole time. It had such a lack of interest or creativity. It's almost my choice for worst movie of the year. Well, obviously, it's probably not, but I don't know, my rating would make it feel like it. So far, it's, you know, it's close. It's close to being one of my worst movies of the year. Not that I think I would call it, you know, horrendous, more so miserable. Okay, miserable is also a strong word. More so just not good. It's just bad and has nothing good working for it. Which is a sad thing to say, I know, still. Like, I don't enjoy being negative. I really don't. I really wanted this to be good. That's why I watch it. I don't go into a movie wanting to hate it, or at least I do feel like maybe I'll like it for the most part. Like, I'm not expecting the best movie ever. I didn't look up reviews before watching this movie. But look, I just think this movie, I think it falls behind being one of the worst movies of the year because it's just not fun. It's just a boring and unenjoyable movie for so many reasons, and it really can't be explained unless you watch it for yourself. The Spy Kids movies have always been a favorite of mine as a child, and I still have a soft spot for them, as these family-centric action comedies that probably introduced kids to spy movies in my generation over Teen Spawn. I mean, at least to children, because, you know, show children Quantum of Solace, they're gonna love it. At least as children, you know, mostly Roger Rodriguez has hit it off as, well, okay, well, compared to his adult films where he mostly hits it off, his kid films sometimes are good, and sometimes they are shorts, or We Can Be Heroes. So with that being said, Spy Kids Armageddon. What's this movie about? I think I just went on a tangent, and now I have a headache. Anyways, this movie is a soft reboot of the Spy Kids franchise, I think. I mean, I thought this was a soft reboot. It's like, no, this is a full-on reboot. I don't know if this takes away the first 4 movies. I don't know. I don't care. Since the 4th movie was already kind of a requel, this movie doesn't really reference the first movie except for, like, a vehicle or... Well, it does reference the first movie. More on that later. You don't have to watch any of those movies to understand this movie. So on its own, it's still bad. In comparison, it's awful. And probably terrible overall. Man, I hate being mean, but this is true. In my opinion. Maybe you enjoyed it. Why are you listening to me? You already know I don't like it. Anyways, directed and written by Robert Rodriguez and co-written by Racer Max, comes the Netflix reboot of the Spy Kids franchise, where this time, loving couple, I will not reference their character names, the actors, Zachary, Levi and Gina Rodriguez, are a loving couple who hide from their kids. The boy, played by Connor Esterson, and the girl, played by Everly Carganilla, they are spies with the O.S.S. While they want to tell them the truth, they face the wrath of Ray the King Kingston, played by Billy Magnussen, who wants to use Levi's bypassing hacking code thing called Armageddon, which is named that because that sounds cool in the title, because I'm like, oh, so why is this called Armageddon? Wait, that's why it's called Armageddon? Why would you name a bypassing code thing Armageddon like that? Anyways, and use it to take over the world with his video game. Wait, take over the world with his video game. Wait, wasn't that the third movie? You know, remember Sylvester Stallone in the third movie? You know, he is a toy maker, and you know he used a video game to, like, you know, take over the world. That was the third movie. Anyways, Zachary and Gina get kidnapped, leaving their kids to rescue them. Like the first movie. Yeah, I see the problem. Yeah, so this movie's biggest flaw is just being a rehash of the other movies. Like, at least I remember each of the other movies having their own thing and unique villains. This is a reboot of the franchise, so I guess this makes sense, but I mean, this is just done worse in every way. The opening looks so fake. I thought it was at first going to be revealed it was a VR game, then cut to the kids playing it, but it's actually the one day earlier trope, which, I mean, I've said this before in our reviews, I don't mind cliches, blah blah blah. But speaking of random tropes, you know, one I was not expecting was the character's hair blows in the wind, and by that, due to the fame machine in closed rooms without a window. Like, really? It's like, I don't know, really forced and not done well. I don't know. Anyways, Levi and Gina have decent chemistry, and the kids' acting is fine. Everyone else is one note and easily forgettable, with me thinking the boy's a rule breaker and the girl's a wet blanket being the only thing they got going for them. It's actually kind of interesting because I'm like, the girl's acting does not make me think she's a wet blanket. I feel like it should have been switched, which I don't remember if that's fully what the original kids in the first movie were. Or was that the fourth movie even? My God. But anyways, you know, she is a wet blanket because she finds out, well, she's upset that being a spy means telling lies. Like, what do you think a secret agent does then? What do you think a secret agent does then? Like, I get being upset they lied to her. You know, her parents are like, you know, we're spies. We didn't mean to tell, we wanted to tell you, but we couldn't because, you know, if you knew, then your lives could be in danger because they, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just tired. Look, the whole movie's message is that the video game guy wants to take over the world by force to make it a better place, and they need to show him that he doesn't have to, since they show him kindness for some reason. It was when they were going to go down that direction, I'm like, wait, what? Why? Like, I mean, I get it. You know, I remember really liking Ryan the Last Dragon, and a lot of people having problem with the message, and it's like, yeah, I thought it had its problems with it, but I still think it did a decent job getting it across, even if it could have been better. But here, I just don't think it makes sense at all. Which, God, did I not care when they tried to make this work, especially with the forced backstory or the fact that the consequences of his actions make no sense. It's like, dude, I'm pretty sure you would have caused a lot of trouble doing this. You should not be let off the hook. Or wait, was that a spoiler? God, I don't care! Another problem with this movie faces is that it just looks so cheap. Like, this should not look as cheap as it is, even as a Netflix original movie. They do actually later on get inside a video game world, and it looks no better than the villain's lair, which also another problem is the dialogue. And God, is this a horrible screenplay. Like, seriously though, where the line explaining, like, okay, let's take one line where they explain what AR is to the audience. Imagine that being the same exposition dump of everything else. It's just one of those stories where it's like, oh hey, we need to make this damn clear to the 5-year-olds watching this that this is what's going on because they may not fully understand what's happening, so let's pretend like us explaining it will make a difference. Even though we should have this be clear enough for 7-year-olds and older people or whatever. Like, I get this movie's demographic might be kindergartners. I get it. But like, I don't know, I think they deserve more respect in this. I mean, what I liked about the first few movies was that despite being for kids, they treated them with respect thanks to its creative ideas, villains, and not dumbing things down. It's not one of those kids films that think, oh, well, they have to dumb it down for babies. No, it treats the kids like the adults they want to be treated with. Respect. They think they should be treated with respect with. It's, I mean, obviously it's not hard drama, but what I mean by that, it's like, you know, it's like, it makes sense for what it's supposed to be, rather than, you know, dumbing it down until to the point it makes no sense. And, you know, speaking of the first movie, this movie's just not funny. Like, seriously, I didn't laugh once. Or maybe I did. Well, the jokes in this movie are pretty much the first movie, just done worse. Like, you know, saying the ridiculously long name to enter a safe house. The joke I laughed at was, well, it wasn't a joke. It's that I laughed when, for some reason, they were super impressed with seeing a bunk bed in the safe house for some reason. Like, wow, a bunk bed? So, it's bad, but, I mean, I get it if you say, well, I was a kid once who watched this in several years from now, and you're like, why didn't you like it? I enjoyed this as a child. I want people to understand they should be allowed to like what they like. And really, even if I really did not like watching this movie, like, it was very not fun for me to watch. And I really feel like this movie is just such a pointless film. I'd rather watch the original movies than this. I think kids should grow up watching those instead. Especially, again, the day I have kids, I think this is something I'll put on for them as one of the first movies they'll see. Okay, maybe not the first movie, but what I'm saying is I think kids deserve better than this. And especially, well, I would say people who grew up with it. Like, if I didn't do a review for this, maybe I would have skipped it. But if I had to let kids watch this, I should know they're watching something that's good. Because this even made for Netflix. This was made for Netflix, so there shouldn't be any money loss. I think they could be allowed to make some more risk. Even then, I wish Rodriguez would just be allowed to work on something with a bigger budget again, like Alita Battle Angel. Or if he really wanted to challenge himself, make a new movie in the style of El Mariachi. He can make a new kids film too. I'm just saying, this isn't a infuriating movie to watch. Well, it is, since the dialogue is horrendous, the movie moves at a snail's pace, it's not funny, the characters are forgettable, I did not find anything to like while watching it. And it's like, yeah, I'm not that mad after it's done. I'm just like, this is the most nothing movie I've seen this year. yeah, I don't think I really think this is a good movie. I really don't think this is a good movie. I think this movie has nothing working for it. This movie has everything going against it. I wish it wasn't as bad as it was. If other people do find something to like out of this, I'm genuinely happy. But of all the directions a new Spy Kids movie could take, this feels too stuck in the past and limited by not having enough new ideas. But for the future of this franchise, I don't know, do one in space. At least it would be different. I give Spy Kids Armageddon a 2 out of 10.